Every great product starts with a powerful idea, a vision for something new and better. But the path to market is brutal. A staggering 97% of hardware startups fail, often from delivery delays. Even for those who launch, the odds are grim. Around 80% of new products ultimately fail in the market. Why? A key reason is that 68% of projects are delayed by unforeseen design flaws. These failures aren't random. We'll show you how specialized knowledge turns these risks into a competitive advantage. The problems start with money. A significant percentage of hardware projects blow past their allocated budgets. A primary cause is the immense overhead of an in-house team: salaries, high-end equipment, and expensive software. Without market-specific knowledge, teams often over-engineer products, adding unnecessary difficulty and cost. So you're facing delays, budget overruns, and massive overhead. What is the core competency you're really missing? The answer is strategic delegation. Outsourcing allows your company to focus on its core strengths, market strategy, and brand. This isn't just about saving money, it's about mitigating risk. Professional firms fill knowledge gaps and bring certainty to costs. Let's look closer at a common blind spot: firmware. It's the product's brain, and bad code makes the entire product fail. This isn't app development. Firmware developers work with tight memory constraints and direct hardware interaction. A small mistake can brick a device. And debugging firmware is incredibly difficult. You have limited visibility into real-time operations. Specialists solve problems that can stall a team for months. Clearly, getting the firmware right is non-negotiable. But what happens when the software is perfect, but the physical product still fails? There's another critical pitfall that sinks projects before mass production. What is the design mistake that can cost more to fix than all initial development? The answer is failing to implement design for manufacturability, or DFM. It's designing a product not just to work, but to be built efficiently at scale. The consequences of poor design are stark. A shocking 68% of product returns are no fault found. The product isn't broken, it's just difficult to use. This is where firmware and physical design meet. An intuitive user experience and a smooth setup are the direct results of expert-led development. Specialized firms use established processes and industry connections to dramatically shorten the time it takes to get to market. They use rapid prototyping to test ideas fast, getting market feedback instantly and building better products sooner. So we've seen how specialized knowledge solves core technical challenges and speeds up your launch. What about the business risks outside the product? A perfect design is useless if you can't source components. Experienced firms have established networks to manage this volatility. When you create something new, you must protect it. Professional firms have structured processes to ensure your intellectual property is always secure. Are you equipped to manage a global supply chain and a complex IP strategy while designing your core product? This is the value of a partner. Let's return to the beginning, that 97% failure rate. Now we see why it's so high. It's not one thing, it's a chain reaction. A firmware bug delays testing, which reveals a DFM issue, which requires a new component you can't source. This is how projects die. Managing hardware, firmware, manufacturing, and sourcing simultaneously requires coordinated expertise across multiple disciplines. Some companies build these capabilities internally. Others rely on external specialists with experience across the entire product lifecycle. Launching a consumer electronics product involves navigating technical, financial, and supply chain challenges at every stage. The companies that succeed usually combine strong product vision with experienced engineering and manufacturing execution. When development is structured correctly, teams can reduce delays, control costs, and move from prototype to production more efficiently. In the end, successful products rarely depend on a single breakthrough. They result from hundreds of careful engineering and design decisions. Understanding common failure points, from firmware issues to manufacturing constraints, helps teams plan more resilient development strategies. Contact us to learn how our custom electronic design and firmware development services can ensure your product's success.